Welcome to this candidates forum for those individuals seeking the office of mayor for the city of Montevallo. I'm Steve Gilbert, Executive Director of the Montevallo Chamber of Commerce. I would like to thank our collaborative partners, the Shelby County Chamber and Shelby County Newspapers Incorporated, for co-hosting this event. We hope you find this program both interesting and informative, and we're pleased that you could join us. Also, before we begin, let me thank our candidates, Joyce Jones and Rusty Nix, for participating in this forum. Your willingness to put yourself before the voters of the city of Montevallo speaks volumes about your desire to serve our community. Now let me explain our format for this forum. Each candidate will be asked the same questions and given 2 minutes to respond. The sequence for answering the questions will rotate alphabetically. Neither of the candidates has been provided the questions prior to this event. The candidates will respond to those questions in this alphabetical sequence, alternating responding to the question first. That rotation sequence will continue throughout the remainder of the forum. In the interest of time, there will be no opening statements. However, at the end, each candidate will be given 3 minutes for closing remarks. Kurt Manser, President and CEO with the Shelby County Chamber, will be posing the questions to the candidates. A timekeeper will provide each candidate with a countdown during their answer sequence. Let's begin with the first question.
We'll begin the question and answer portion of our forum by starting with Ms. Jones answering the first question first. Ms. Jones, why do you want to be mayor for the city of Montevallo?
So the question is, why do I want to be mayor? That's pretty easy. One, because I'm passionate about people. And I feel that I have a valuable perspective that would benefit our city right now. This is just our moment to bring unity and equability to our city. I'm not a career politician, but I have been a community servant for more than 15 plus years. And I lived in Montevallo my whole life. And so I see myself as a community leader, and I've done that behind the scenes. Now I just want to take a bigger step and become a leader that can transition that community service into political service that makes a difference within our city. I want to be able to unite people from all walks of life and to be able to inspire folks to become part of the process of governing our small town. I think it's really great that people feel like they are a part of the system, and so that is one of the big things that inspired me to do this.
Thank you. Mr. Nix, same question to you. Why do you want to be mayor for the city of Montevallo?
I'd like to be mayor of the city of Montevallo. I had such a public outcry that people would come up to me on the street and they'd go like, you really need to run for mayor. And this started about 3 years ago. I've been a councilman for 12 years. And I really think that with my leadership and experience that I can take the city and move it really financially strong. And I feel like I can bring the northern part of the city, make them feel welcome in the downtown area, and the same with the Almont and Aldridge area, and even 25. There's a lot of projects that we're working on, and I'd like to see them through.
Thank you. And now we'll have our second question, and we'll start with Mr. Nix. What, in your opinion, are the priorities and responsibilities of the city of Montevallo's mayor?
Well, number one is to provide the adequate funding for public safety. We've had some incidents in our area, and the budget did get cut in police and fire, and I would like to see that they're properly funded. And to see economic growth coming into the town too. And I'd like to, I know we fund Main Street pretty heavily, but I'd like to try to fund the chamber too, because the chamber is the lifeblood of the city with the outlying businesses that are not on Main Street. And they don't need to be forgotten.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, same question to you. What, in your opinion, are the priorities and responsibilities of the City of Montevallo's mayor?
The mayor is not the unilateral maker of decisions within a municipal government. It is very much a collaboration between the council, the mayor, city boards and commissions, and other community stakeholders. The mayor's primary job is to be a facilitator, a partnership builder, to bridge the gap and to communicate with citizens, to provide leadership, and even inspiration to the citizens of the town. And I think it is the job of the mayor to be effective with helping people find good solutions to the problems that citizens bring up within the city. It is not the mayor's job to determine necessarily direction on their own, but it is the mayor's job to help steer us in a direction that will bring our city to the vision that we all share as a common goal.
Thank you. And now for our third question, we'll start with you, Ms. Jones. When prospective new or growing businesses evaluate locations, they often seek out incentives or assistance from the city. What is your stance on incentivizing businesses to grow, and what assistance programs do you feel should be in place?
That's a really great question. And I think one of the things that is the mark of a vibrant economy is the direct result of meeting the needs of the citizens. And so when you're talking about incentives, you really are talking about resources and those types of things. And I think Montevallo is ripe with all kind of resources that are great for businesses. We've got the land, we've got the infrastructure, and we have the people. And so we've just got to find a way to bridge the gap and to move people into thinking about bringing their businesses to our city. So you do that not by just the decisions that I make, but by partnering with our Chamber of Commerce, partnering with the county's Chamber of Commerce, and other economic development stakeholders outside of our city to help us develop plans and procedures that can, one, give us great incentives that people would look at, that would be valuable to folks. But I think, again, we just need to remember that the greatest incentive is that we have everything that they need. We have, the infrastructure. We have buildings that are available right now. And we have the people who are willing and needing to have jobs that are not just day-to-day jobs, but career-building jobs. And I think when we start looking for businesses, we've got to remind people that we want folks to build careers in the city that they already live in. And so we'll look for ways to do that.
Thank you. Mr. Nix, same question to you. When prospective new or growing businesses evaluate new locations, they often seek out incentives or assistance from the city. What is your stance on incentivizing businesses to grow, and what assistance programs do you feel should be in place?
I don't mind looking into a tax incentive. I know with one of our businesses that the MDCD owns the building. They kind of did an incentive, rent incentive with them, not necessarily tax. But I know we're looking at pursuing a hotel, you know, and if we get that, we could probably do a lodging tax incentive, because right now we're not getting any lodging tax, so we won't miss any. So, you know, that would be an opportunity, an attraction for a hotel there. But yeah, that's what I would do there.
Okay, thank you. Now for question 4, Mr. Nix, we'll begin with you. Where do you see the city of Montevallo in 4 years?
All right, let me get my crystal ball out and look at it. I see us as a growing town, and we're going to keep growing. We just need to have controlled growth. I see businesses coming in. I think up around the Morris Crossroads area, where Highway 22 and 119, I think that's a gold mine sitting there, because we've got 6 major subdivisions that are in that area, and probably 75 to 80% of them shop Alabaster or shop Calera. And we need to get that revenue back to Montevallo. Also, I see the project on 25 with the sidewalks being complete, where we have pedestrian friendly, because we did have a pedestrian get struck out there and killed about a year and a half ago. And we've got probably within the next 4 years, the viaduct will be redone, and hopefully we can use the old viaduct as a crosswalk, because I'm sure that because they're doing all the bridges, I'm sure that's on the list. And following the comp plan that we're doing, we've got a park and rec, well, not a park and rec, but not a youth center, but a rec center that we've got plans on building on 25 with a comp plan. Of course, funding's going to be a big thing with that. Of course, funding is a big thing with everything. But yeah, I can see that done. I can see the tornado shelters that we've got in mind of purchasing, putting in place. The Victory building that we purchased year and a half ago, I see that it'll be a good business in there that attracts people into town.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, same question to you. Where do you see the city of Montevallo in 4 years?
Well, my vision for Montevallo really is about unity, it's about equity, and it's about accessibility. My One Montevallo slogan is about a shared future where all of our citizens believe that they hold a shared interest and investment in the decisions and the interest of our city government. Well, that begins with making sure that all of our citizens are first represented in city leadership, as community stakeholders, as business investors, as business owners, as part of the local workforce, and even as school teachers and administrators within our local schools. I see a community where we meet the needs, the social needs of our senior community and our youth, and everything that comes in between those two, right? And so I even see a space that would be great for a vibrant, culturally enriched and diverse community to share for event space and gathering spaces. And so one of the things that I want to do is to build the type of community where everybody really does feel like just one big family. Montevallo already has that. And my only goal for when I leave this office, potentially in 4 years, is that that has grown and that we've expanded that a little bit more.
Thank you. Now for question 5, Ms. Jones, we'll begin with you. If you're elected, what specific skills or strengths do you possess which you believe will benefit the city of Montevallo?
One of the things that I like to tout most about who I am as a daughter of Montevallo, a native daughter of Montevallo, is that I've lived in 4 out of the 5 districts in our whole town. So I possess a unique perspective about what it's like to live and to grow up and to grow through a lot of different areas and spaces in my own personal life. I think that is a great perspective for someone who's in leadership, to actually see the city through the eyes of its citizens. And so I think that is one of the best things about who I am as a candidate for this job. I've grown into a confident and approachable, accessible, and relatable leader. And I think that the greatest thing about that is people have access to their mayor. Often we get focused on, in politics and government, the larger political offices like governors and senators and even presidents, when you will never have many chances to meet those people. But you have a direct opportunity to know the mayor and to get to know them and for them to get to know you. And that directly affects what happens in your day-to-day life. And so I think that is one of the greatest things about this office, is that you get to directly affect what happens to the people that you're leading.
Thank you. And now, Mr. Nick, same question to you. If you were elected, what specific skills or strengths do you possess which you believe will benefit the city of Montevallo?
Oh, wow, that's right up my alley there. I've been a supervisor I've been employed at the same plant for 36 years. I've been a supervisor there for 34. So I've got very strong leadership skills and a very strong work ethic. You know, and I can bring that to the table. It's like I always tell my employees, worked there 36 years, I've called in sick 6 times. And as far as being on the council, 12 years, I think I've missed 6 meetings. And that was just because I was out of town for work. So I'm very dedicated to what I do. And with being mayor, I mean, the city will be ran like a business. And like I said, I feel like I bring business skills to that position. And just, I've got an outstanding leadership.
Thank you. Now for question 6, Mr. Nix, we'll begin with you. How would you describe Montevallo when asked by someone wanting to start a business?
The way I describe Montevallo, and I've spoken at a lot of your mayoral luncheons, but I describe Montevallo as the hidden gem in Shelby County. People need to really come and check out what we got. I mean, we've got probably the most outstanding parks in Alabama. And some of our parks, I would even say in the southeast. I don't know of any other parks that's got wood carvings that's Tinglewood. Plus we got some outstanding sports facilities out at Stevens Park. And was out there last week and they had a tournament. Shane Ball, our park director, he said it was probably 1,300 people there. So that's people buying food, drinks, gas. So that's 1,300 people in your city spending money. So if that's not something that will attract a business, and that way, just the people and the arts with the university and the murals in town. People say I'm anti-mural, but I'm not. I just really don't care for them being on historic buildings, but I love the paintings. But we've got a lot to attract people in town. Our downtown area at Christmas looks like a Hallmark card. So we've got a lot of things to offer businesses, you know, if they want to come into town. Plus we got the students too. I mean, we've been missing them, but they're coming back in a couple weeks. So they'll be back shopping in town too.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, same question. How would you describe Montevallo when asked by someone wanting to start a business in the city?
Montevallo has a lot of potential for positive growth. And we are also a very unique and diverse community. We have a top-rate university that is right there in our cities. We also have parks, beautiful parks and recreational areas that are available in our city. And one of the best things about our city is that you can, within 5 miles of downtown, you can go from a Head Start program all the way through to a secondary, post-secondary degree. And so with that comes people who have a lot of different experiences, capabilities, and needs. And so when you're looking to bring a business to our town, you know that you already have a built-in workforce. And that is one of the greatest things. You don't have to always look for people to come into our town. We have people who are in our town who are already ready to work. And I think we don't talk about enough the need for jobs within the city of Montevallo. So we have all these great resources that if you're here, you're bringing your business here, you have access to all these great resources already, but then you also have access to a great workforce and a built-in city that's wonderful for you to enjoy while you're there.
Thank you. Now for question 7, Ms. Jones. One of the best ways to attract and retain business is to ensure that their workforce needs are met now and in the future. How do you believe we can prepare our K-12 students to be strong, productive members of our workforce pipeline and to meet the needs of our employers?
That's really a great part of what we're talking about. And so when you're talking about building workforce, of course, we have the university, we have the high school, but what we don't have is labor development within our town. And so our kids have to come to Columbiana. They have to come to the trade school, what used to be called the trade school, but the instructional school for trades here in Columbiana. But if we could develop partnerships with businesses within our town to help teach our children skills, life skills, and to get them started in the workforce really early, that would be beneficial to not only Montevallo, but to the jobs, to the employers as well. And it helps build mentorship programs, which I'm absolutely crazy about. Anything that we can do to get our kids involved in being productive citizens early is a benefit to the community and to employers. It builds their workforce and creates a pipeline. And so, of course, that is one of the important things. It's also important for us to bridge that with our school system. And we can't depend on the school system to do it all. So one of the things that I talk about often is our city, our community being the other part to that, doing the things outside of the school that bridges the gap between going from school into the workforce. And so we can look at initiatives to do that, to bring those three entities together: education, businesses, and the community, and make them work for our children, which in the end works for our city.
Thank you. Mr. Nix, same question. One of the best ways to attract and retain business is to ensure that their workforce needs are met now and in the future. How do you believe we can prepare our K through 12 students to be strong, productive members of our workforce pipeline and to meet the needs of our employers?
Well, first of all, everybody that goes to school, you know, they don't wind up going to college. There's a lot of, and I'm gonna call them blue collar jobs out there that you can make a ton of money at. We just need to educate our kids in the from K through 12, and I know a lot of the high school students even call the University of Montevallo the 13th grade. But you know, just educate them, tell them to get the basics, and it'll carry them far.
Thank you. And now for the final question in our question and answer portion, Mr. Nix, why should the citizens of Montevallo elect you mayor?
Well, it's like I said, I mean, it's a public outcry. I feel like I represent the whole city and not just a select few of people. I bring leadership qualities to the table. I believe in listening to the residents. We've had some issues or items that's been on the agenda that I felt like some of our council members and mayor had already had their mind made up on how they were going to vote on it. But I hit the streets and listened to what citizens had to say from the north end to the south end and east and west. And that's what it takes to be mayor. I mean, you got to be very open-minded and listen to all the citizens. And even with our boards and things like that, I mean, it's got to be diversified, that you got all different walks of life on your boards and committees. If not, you just have a yes, and that's no good for the city. So my thing to the people is, yeah, I will have a diversified boards, diversified committees, and listen to the people, because the citizens are the lifeblood of the town. You know, you can have all kind of businesses and events and things like that, but you got to have support of the citizens. So, and I'll have all the citizens back. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Jones, same question to you. Why should the citizens of Montevallo elect you mayor?
One, again, I've said it before and I will just finish with this. I am literally a daughter of Montevallo. I don't know any other place to live. Montevallo's been my home my entire life. And Montevallo is the place that I love. And while that may not be the most important thing, it is something that you should want in your leader. It should be someone who knows you, who knows this city, who knows this town, who knows these people. And I do that. I know them. But not only do I know them, but I'm passionate about our city. More than that, I'm passionate about the people, every community in our city. And one of the things that I pride myself on is being able to transcend boundaries, to be able to go into any environment, into any community within our city, and have a conversation, bridge gaps, build partnerships and friendships with all of our citizens. And that is vital in the next mayor. It is vital because of where we are right now at this time in history. It is even more vital because we're raising up a generation of people who need to be inspired to be good people. We are raising a generation of people who are losing faith and hope in what their government can do for them. And I believe that I can restore some of that for our people here in Montevallo. That's why I think I'm probably the best mayor for this moment. I believe that this is our moment and that this is my time to try.
That concludes the question and answer portion of our forum. We'll now move into the closing statement opportunities for both candidates, beginning with Mr. Nix. Mr. Nix?
I'd like to thank the Montevallo Chamber of Commerce, the Shelby County Chamber of Commerce, and the Shelby County Reporter for hosting this event. I think it's a great event, and I'm pleased to be a part of it. Just a brief history of myself. I'm a graduate of Montevallo High School, 1981. I attended the University of Montevallo. I then transferred to Auburn, and after Auburn, took electronics at Bessemer Tech. I've got deep roots in the city of Montevallo. My family's lived there for probably over 125 years. My granddad on my mother's side was a coal miner out in Boothton and Marvel. And my granddad on my father's side was a farmer and a carpenter here in Montevallo. He built a lot of houses. And we've even got a hill named after us going north out of town. This August 25th is going to be one of the most important elections in the history of Montevallo. It's the first time, I think, ever that we've had two people in each district run, and we have two mayoral candidates running. I'm the only person out of that whole group that's ever been an elected official. Yes, we do have two incumbents running for council, but they were both appointed. I've been a councilman for 3 terms, which is 12 years. I've served as mayor pro tem for the past 4 years, which that's elected by the council members. I've served on over 10 boards and committees. I bring a strong financial and management background to the mayor's table, which that's what it's going to take in this day and time. I manage a $7 million budget at the plant that I work for. And I've also managed over 100 employees. So I understand how to work employees. I have the experience and the leadership to what it takes to be one of the best mayors of Montevallo. Please vote Rusty Nix, August 25th, 2020, as mayor of the city of Montevallo. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll have the closing statement from Ms. Jones. Ms. Jones?
One of my major goals and visions for my term as mayor is going to be to build relationships and create opportunities for all of our citizens to enjoy the same access to all of our resources here in Montevallo. One of the positive ways that we've been able to start this process already is to begin different community conversations within districts of our Montevallo where citizens and city leaderships and city officials all get to come together for conversations about the needs of each district. And I want to continue that process. I want to grow, expand the influence of our citizens on our city government. I want to be the type of mayor and create the type of environment within our city government where everyone feels they have access to city leadership. They have opportunities to serve in city leadership, on boards, on commissions, and just become active parts of governing our city here in Montevallo. We have a wonderful university. We have wonderful parks and recreations. We have the American Village. We have all kinds of different things that tie us all together. And so my goal for Montevallo, for my one Montevallo, is to make sure that every citizen feels like they literally have a seat at the table, that everyone has a chance to make their voices heard. And so you'll hear me talk about that a lot, because at the heart of it, that's who I am. I care about people. I'm passionate about people. I'm passionate that people feel loved, accepted, and they feel like they're a part of everything that they deserve to be. And in our city in Montevallo, I believe everyone deserves a part of this governing process. So I'm asking you that you elect me to become your next mayor so that we can continue moving in that direction together, all of us together. This is our moment. This is our chance to do that. This is our chance to unite, regardless of where we come from, what our socioeconomic status is, regardless of what our backgrounds are, regardless of what we have or don't have. At the heart of it, we are all Montevallo citizens. And we see each other in the grocery stores. We play each other in sports. We support each other in sickness and in health. And I want us to do that in government as well. I want to make sure that the doors are open, that the seats and perspectives of everyone are at the table. And so I'm asking you, on August 25th, go out and choose me to be your next mayor. I want to thank the council, the Chamber of Commerce here at Shelby County and Montevallo for this opportunity, and the Shelby County Reporter for giving me this chance to talk to you guys. I look forward to seeing you soon.
That concludes our forum. Thanks again to both Joyce Jones and Rusty Nix for their willingness to participate and share their vision for the city of Montevallo with us. Thanks once again also to our collaborative partners, the Shelby County Chamber and the Shelby County Newspapers Incorporated. Please let me encourage you to participate in our election, which will be held on August 25th. Go to the polls, exercise your right to vote.